I quit Google, I quit Notion, and I quit Obsidian. 3 tools I used almost every single day for the past few years. And I replaced all 3 with AI tools that don't just do what the previous ones did, they do something completely different. One of them helps you capture ideas without deciding where they need to go. And the final one allows you to understand and synthesize data without having to look at a graph view. And by the end of this video, you're gonna understand exactly why I will never go back to those tools I quit. And everything you need to know about the 3 AI tools I decided to switch to. So let's get into that right now. Let's start with Google. Google is built for finding pages, but it's sometimes not the best for finding answers. For the shopping queries, sure, it will work. Where's the cheapest version of this product? Where can I pick it up? All those kind of informations you need about purchasing, sure, Google will have things like that. But the second you need to actually understand something, like digging through research papers, validating a claim, or just building your depth of knowledge, Google tends to fall apart. You're gonna end up scrolling through 10 mediocre articles that are all repeating the same surface level information. Their main focus is just prioritizing SEO. Those articles are written for an algorithm, not for you. So you end up becoming the synthesis engine. You read everything and then still have to break it all down yourself. That worked in the past when just being able to search was a competitive advantage. But nowadays, everyone has access to search, so we need something else to differentiate us. But before we go into exactly what that tool is, let's focus on the second tool I quit, which is Notion. I lived in Notion for years. Cascading templates, beautiful dashboards, linked pages, the whole 9 yards. And then over time, I noticed that I just decided to stop opening it. Not because I got lazy, but because every time I wanted to capture an idea, there was too much friction in the way. So first, I have to open Notion. Then I have to decide, where does this go? What database does it fit in? How is it relevant to all the other information I already have collected? And that decision cost and friction tends to add up. By the end, you're not even capturing things anymore because the cost of doing so is too high. Notion is incredible with structure. It's probably one of the best of any of the productivity tools on the market, but it's horrible when it comes to momentum. It asks you to be a librarian when what you truly want is to just be a thinker. Beautiful systems that you'll never actually use consistently. And finally, there's Obsidian. The promise is magical with Obsidian. Local files, bidirectional links, actual views of all your data and how it can connect. It makes you feel like a genius when you first see that graph view all light up. But the reality is you eventually become a systems engineer for your very own notes. You're managing plugins, fixing broken links, maintaining folder structures, researching whenever something new comes out. You end up spending more time tinkering with the tool than working on the data that you have inside of it. A graph view doesn't mean you actually understand the topic. Neither does a pretty network of notes. So I quit all 3. Here's what I replaced them with, and each of these tools allow you to play an entirely different game. The first replacement, and the one that surprised me the most, was Google. Because the thing that Google fails at, actually helping you understand research and information, is where this AI tool absolutely kills the game. I started using SciSpace, and it completely changed the way I learn anything new. SciSpace doesn't search the web. It searches over 280 million scientifically reviewed peer articles. When I ask a question, it doesn't just give me 10 links. It reads the research and gives me a synthesized answer with citations supporting everything that it's saying. So this allows me to skip the process of having to click through every single link and do my own deep dive and then build my own synthesis. I can just ask a question, get the synthesis, and then get right onto work. This is what I always wanted Google to be. Let me show you what I mean. I asked it, what does research say about productivity systems and the way they compound over time? And it didn't just give me the top median article or point me to looking at Reddit. It pulled from peer-reviewed studies, it cross-referenced different types of citations. It did such a deep dive into the research behind the question I asked it, more than I even expected. And here's where it gets really good. SciSpace just launched native connectors with ChatGPT. So whatever AI you're currently using, SciSpace can directly pull from your conversations with it. And your ChatGPT conversations will now pull directly from SciSpace's 280 million page database. That means when you ask ChatGPT a serious question, it's not going to hallucinate. It's going to stay grounded in the research that you provided. Finally, there's the best tool of all, Systematic Literature Review Agent. This was the single thing I didn't know I actually needed until I used it for the first time. You give it a question and it runs a structured literature review for you, compares findings across studies, identifies gaps, and then provides you the opportunities you need to capitalize on. This isn't just a tool for academics or people doing insanely deep research. It's the trust layer for anything you actually need to know. Medical decisions, financial moves, validating something you saw online, SciSpace's database allows you to know that you can trust the sources you're reading. For anything where actually being wrong will cost you in the long run, this is where you use this tool instead of Google. The free tier will cover most casual use. The premium tier comes at $12 a month, and it will allow you to access more deep research analysis. I'll put a link below with a discount code so you can directly sign up from my description. But the second you utilize SciSpace, I can almost guarantee you're not going to want to go through Google's search function again. Now let's look at the next biggest shift, when I moved away from Notion to start using Mem AI. The function I needed Notion for was capturing my thoughts. Random notes, meeting notes, just a quick jot of an idea on my way home. But like I brought up earlier, the problem became friction. Every decision required a small cost for me to actually go through and categorize everything. But Mem AI flips that completely. You don't organize anything, you simply just write. And Mem AI handles the structure after the fact. It auto-links your ideas. It surfaces connections between thoughts you wrote now and stuff you wrote weeks ago. It lets you ask questions like, what patterns keep showing up across my notes? Or could you build a clear outline on all the information I've given you? I first started using Mem AI when I realized that my best ideas weren't always getting captured into Notion. I don't have to remember where something is anymore. I just remember what it's about, and Mem AI does a great job of understanding that. This is Notion if Notion stopped asking you to take the brunt of all the organizing. For writing, planning, creative work, journaling, this replaces Notion for me completely. Now let's look at the last tool, which I know is a fan favorite for their users, Obsidian. The function I wanted from Obsidian was pulling deep understanding from a huge body of knowledge, pulling concepts together and seeing how ideas connected across different notes. NotebookLM does all of this without any of the maintenance. You can upload literally anything. Articles, PDFs, your own notes, research papers, anything you can find and download, you can upload. There's no necessity for tagging or maintaining a database or maintaining plugins. It's all built in right away. You just dump information in and then ask questions based on what you put into Notebook. And the best part is NotebookLM 2.0 just came out about a few weeks ago. I just dropped a video covering all of that, so I'll make sure to include it at the end of this one. You can ask NotebookLM pretty much anything, and it's going to synthesize its answer based on your exact findings, so you can limit any of the hallucination based on your own notes. And the audio overview feature turns all of your information and any of the summaries into an audio book that you can listen, and it comes out like a podcast of two different AIs speaking to each other. I thought it was super cool and a unique way to learn if you're more of an auditory learner. Now, Obsidian promised the structure and the deep understanding of lots of body of knowledge, but I think NotebookLM is just doing it more efficiently with less maintenance on your half. So if you're trying to learn a new field, build expertise, or just understand something deeply, I think NotebookLM 2.0 is the go-to tool. So that's the exact stack I'm currently using to this day. Google got replaced by SciSpace, Notion got replaced by Mem, and Obsidian got replaced by NotebookLM 2.0. And the common thread across all three of these tools is 1, they're affordable, and 2, they remove any of the effort where thinking isn't required. That's the real upgrade, a completely different relationship with your tools. Now, I also just made a video breaking down NotebookLM 2.0 in much more depth. So if you enjoyed this one and you want to learn more about NotebookLM, check that video out now. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.